Good morning to you all. Myself Saksham Gandhi, and today we are learning a lesson which is known as the one they had. This lesson is very interesting and it is about the future and the modern schools and comparing about them. And this beautiful lesson is written by Isaac Asimov. Isaac Asimov was the great writer of his times. And now, here's some of the short bio of the Isaac Asimov. He was born on Russia 1920. He pronounced a last name which was has him off, leaves out H. Came to the States with the family in January 1923. He shifted with his family in the United States in 1923. He was also known as science fiction genre. And he has one fear. We all have fears of something and something and something. Fear by scolding the mom and all. So he was having one fear of heights. When he is a height place, when he looked down, he was having a great fear, and this fear was noticed in the world fair in 1920. When he was riding on the roller coaster in the world fair in 1940, this his fear was being known to him. He was also the fear of flying because he was a fear of height, so he couldn't fly and he was having a fear to fly. One they had most reprinted story. So Isaac Asimov, the great writer, one of the best play written by him and the most printed story, means most popular story of him is the one they had, which we are going to learn now. It is really an interesting story, and he taken his last breath on April 6, 1992. So we'll move to the lesson. The fun they had. Okay, let's start. The story we shall read is set in the future. Means the story which we are going to read, the one they had, is about the future. It's not about now, it's not about the past, it's about the future. And on that time, the books and schools as we have now, them will be perhaps not exist. Means the books, the schools which we are having now, where we are going to school every day, the daily routine. After coming back, we are exhausted, throwing down the books and all. And the books and the school will not exist in the future. How will children study then? So the question arises: no books, no schools. How will children study? Otherwise, always sleeping, playing, and eating. The diagram below may give you some ideas. So let's look at the diagram. This diagram gives out how will be the schools in the future be look like. Schools of the future. First, learning through computers. We'll learn through computers. As we are learning in the Corona period, waking up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and at the time of your starting of your school 7:38, sitting before the computer and yes teacher, like that we have to study. And the virtual classrooms means there will be no schools, so the schools we have to fix in our own rooms. There will be one computer, one teacher, all the headphones and all that are required for your study purpose. Here it is given. I will brief on them. So it will look like this. It is given in your book, you can see. And then the robotic teacher. The next thing arrives at the human teachers. We are taught by the human teachers, but on that time we will not teach by the human teacher. There will be the robotic teacher. Robots will teach us. AI, artificial intelligence. Then moving e-text. Books are not there. In the future, books will be not there. So we have to study by the Google. Means now we have to go down that time. We will open the book and read. But on that time, we will need to go on a website and we have to search the books, and the book will appear on the screen, and then we have to read the book from the screen. There will be no the hard copy. We have to run from only soft copy. So these two are something self-assignment. You can read this. Then we'll start our lesson. So Margie and Tommy are the two main devices or the main character of this story. So Margie even wrote it about that night in her diary. On the page he headed 17 May 2157. She wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book." So Margie even wrote about it in her diary. Here it stands for the book. And this story is about, remember that and remember throughout the lesson, this story is about the future. So connect it with the future, not from now. So in the future, they said there was no books and schools. So Tommy wrote it about in the night in her diary. He wrote about a book which Tommy found on 17 May 2157. She wrote it about in her diary. Next, it was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all the stories were printed on paper. So they were having a discussion on the book. They were settled at the bottom, and they were having a discussion over the book. And Margie's grandfather. So Margie's grandfather once said that this book was read by his great grandfather. Grandfather means Margie's great grandfather. His grandfather's grandfather was having this book when they were at small age. And on that time, all the stories were printed on the paper. Now just we have all the stories, all the books are printed on a paper. The book we have is a book. It is a hard copy. But on that time, which is given in the story, it is have a soft copy, and they had found a book. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they are supposed to on a screen. So the book was of his great grandfather's days. Margie's great grandfather's days means before 200 years. They had found 200 books, 200 years ago book. So it will be very old, and so his pages will be yellow. It is after some days our page becomes some yellowish and crinkly. Crinkly means they are very soft, like we can move it, and the pages will be yellow and crinkly. And it was awfully funny to read the words. So at that time there will be soft copy. They have to go on a website and then they have to read the lesson. But here they have to read from the book. On the website we can move the word. Copy here, paste here. Copy here, paste here. But in the books, if we written something, we cannot let it move. So it is given in this line. And then when they are back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it the first time. So when they turn the page, the same thing appeared like the first page. "Gee," said Tommy. With a great explanation, he said, "Gee, what a waste! You are through this. We are through with the book. You just throw it away. I guess our television screen must have had a millions books on it, and it's good for plenty more. But I won't throw it away." It means that the Tommy found the book and he explained it a great waste, because if one had read it full, one could throw it away. There is no use of that if one had used it. But even if there are millions and millions of the books in the television screen, He won't throw it away because he had got it and there was no books at such times. Same with mine, said Margie. She was 11 and had seen as many books as Tommy had. He was 13. So Tommy was bigger than Margie. So he had read many books than of Margie. She said, "Where did you find it?" Margie asked to Tommy, "Where did you find this book?" Tommy said, "In my house." He pointed without looking because he was busy in reading. Like, this is the book that they had found. And Margie asked, "Where did you find this?" And Tommy said, "In my house," without looking at her because he was busy in reading. And he about what was the topic? What is about the book? What is that book? What is the book composed of? So Tommy said it is about the school. Margie was scornful. School? What's there to write about the school? I hate school. So Margie said that what is about to write on that book? School topic? It is rubbish. So they said it is scornful. School has not a topic to write about. Margie always hated the school. So she said, what is about to write about school? She hated the school. So she said that what's there to write about school in that book. But now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test and job. And she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the country inspector. So Margie hated the school because her mechanical teacher, we are having human teacher, we are arguing with them and all, we can't say fighting, but we are arguing with them, sometimes for the marks, sometimes for the explanation, and sometimes they are scolding us. They are scolding us because of we are not giving answers to them. So has the same condition, it's here, like in the future. But instead of human teacher, they are just mechanical teacher. So she hated the school because the mechanical teacher was giving test after test, and she was doing worse after the worse in the test. And the mother shaken her head like, what I could do of her. So she sorrowfully sent Margie to the country inspector. The country inspector means the person who takes care of all the mechanical teacher in that area. He was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. In this line, he symbolizes the country inspector. We are talking now about the country inspector. So the country inspector was a little man with a red face and having the whole box of tools. So like an electrician, they have a whole box of tools with them to fix the wire from here to there, from here to there. So he was also having one box of tools for which he can take the mechanical teacher and set it right. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple. When Margie's gone to the country inspector smiled at Margie and gave Margie an apple. Then took the teacher apart. He took the Margie's mechanical teacher apart. Margie was hoping that he wouldn't bring it again. The country inspector had opened the mechanical teacher. He had taken out the wires and all. And Margie hoped that he should not know. She hoped that he would not know how to set it again, so that his mechanical teacher will be the best and he couldn't teach her. So here, most was the slot where she had to put homework and test papers. She always had to write them out in a punch code they made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. So during the test, she had to take the test, and there was a proper slot meant for the homeworks and test. When he had completed the homework or the test, she had to put it inside that slot, and it will be evaluated by punch code system. Punch code system means and system by which the errors are being found out. and the marks for the test is given in the no time, means instantly. Fifth paragraph. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head. He said to her mother, "It's not the little girl's fault, Miss Jones." Miss Jones is the mother of Margie. "I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. Those things happen sometimes. I have slowed it to an average 10-year-old level. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory." And he patted Margie's head again. So it is given that the country inspector said it's the right of the mechanical teacher. Margie was hoping that he wouldn't know how to fix it, but he fixed it, and the mechanical teacher is on his way to teach the Margie. And Margie was too scornful because of her taste, and she was not doing good in the geography sector. The country inspector said it was not a little girl's fault, it was the mechanical teacher's fault, because the mechanical teacher's mental level was not tuned with that of Margie. Means Margie's mental level and the mechanical teacher's mental level to teach was not tuned with them. And content inspector said that the Margie's all over progress is quite satisfactory. She was doing good. Margie was disappointed. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. So Margie was disappointed because she hoped that my mechanical teacher should be taken away. She doesn't want the mechanical teacher with him because she does not want to study at all. So she hoped that it would be taken away like that of Tommy. Tommy's mechanical teacher was taken nearly for a month because its history sector of Tommy's mechanical teacher was blanked out completely. So they taken the mechanical teacher of Tommy for a month. Tommy looked at her with a superior eyes because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of schools that they had hundreds of years ago. He added, loftily pronouncing the words carefully, centuries ago. Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while. Then she said, anyway, they had a teacher. Okay, so they are coming back to the topic of the book in this passage. Tommy looked with his superior eyes, and he said to Tommy that it is very old schools, and he pronounced very loftily. Loftily means like centuries ago. We have to expand the words. It means lofty. Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of school was they having ago time. So Margie was really hurt that the fun which are having now today, they don't have on that time. They will not have on that time. So he was hurt that, and he was thinking that which are the traditional schools we have today, we are having a great fun. She read the book over his shoulder for a while. Then he said, anyway, they had a teacher. The Margie read again few more pages, and she came to know that we also have a teacher, human teacher. Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher, it was a man. So for us, a regular teacher is a human being, and for them, the regular teacher is a mechanical teacher. Because of the daily life, they are taught by mechanical teacher, and we are taught by human teacher. A man, how would be a man to be a teacher? So they were taught by mechanical teacher, and they don't know that a human teacher can be a teacher. A human can be a teacher. So he said, a man, how could be a man be a teacher? Well, he just told the boys and girls things, gave them a homework, and asked them the questions. So this describes the human teacher which we are having now. They said that the human teacher just gave the boys and girls homework and asked them the questions and teach them. A man is smart enough. Sure he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. Margie said that a man isn't enough smart, because on their daily life they doesn't know that human can teach, and they were having mechanical teacher easily, so they can say them so that. And then Tommy was not agree with his opinion, and he said, "Sure, the man is," he symbolizes for the man. "Sure, the man is enough smart to teach. My father knows as much of my teacher." He said that my father is knowing all the knowledge as his mechanical teacher. He knows almost as much. I picture. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. She said, "I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me." Tommy screamed with a laughter. "You don't know much, Margie. The teachers didn't live in the house. They had a special building and all the kids went there." So here Margie said, Margie was again opposed that Tommy's opinion, that I don't want any unknown man to live in my house and teach me. And Tommy laughed and said that you don't know that the mechanical teacher, the human teachers are not living in our house. They have their own special buildings to live them, and all the children used to go there. And all the kids learn the same thing, sure, if they were the same age. So, we students of class 9th learn all the same things. This lesson is all for the Ncert syllabus. So, we are learning the same things and we are of the same age. It is given here. But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and that each kid has to be taught differently. So, Margie says that my mother says that a teacher had to be adjusted. Means in the future, when after Margie and Tommy's time, there was a mechanical teacher, and the mechanical teacher's mental level was tuned with that the children they are taught with. And here there is only one human teacher, and they are taught similarly to everyone instead to tune with their mental level. Thus the same, they didn't do it the way then. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. I didn't say I didn't like it, Margie said to me. So Tommy said that if you didn't like that, then don't read it and don't think about it also. Then Margie said, when I said I don't like it. So